Okay, we're back again. In between sessions, I fixed this indentation issue. So the indentation issue with CAC was, where's an example? Here we go. That before, what would happen if you were on a line here and you wanted to insert a new line, it would align things up to this parenthesis, which is pretty annoying. I didn't want that. I didn't like it. I've fixed it so that it just aligns back to the start, and then you type your text, and then it aligns, as normal from there. Okay, and what I had to do for that was this is in user local share cac autoload file type C family. All right, so that's this file, and you can clearly see that it tries to align to the opening paren or brace. I just copied that to my local cac config or config cac autoload file type. All of these are symbolic links except the C family one, where I just copied that file and deleted this. Okay, so fix that problem. All right, so some of the problems I want to fix this time is, firstly, if we go back up, we're getting a lot of noise here. A lot of noise that I don't think I want. In particular, this stuff comes up pretty quickly and hides, a couple of times it's hidden warnings from the compiler, which warnings that were very helpful, like uninitialized data or unused variables, which of themselves may not be handy, but if you think you're using a variable and the compiler tells you, hey, this variable is unused, that's cause to reflect on, wait, hang on, I'm doing something wrong. So I want to firstly silence these, and I want to clean up a little tech debt, so to speak. We only have less than 400 lines of code and we already have tech debt. I was pretty unhappy with this pattern when I first did it, and I'm unhappy with it now. So I think I'm going to change this. I'm going to fix it up. The reason why I settled on a define instead of having const global variables or something like that was because of this. We had a buffer where we want to put text in the buffer, but the amount of text we can put in there it's kind of intricately linked or intimately linked to what appears in the UI, right? Like how long that line of text is in the UI is pretty intimately linked with how much text is in the buffer. And in C89, in here, you can't put variables, even if they're const declared. It's treated as a variable length array. I presume part of that is because symbol resolution can change the value of the variable from compilation, like if you have an extern const or something. But either way, it's not valid C89. But I think we're going to solve that problem a different way. I think we're going to solve this problem by clipping the text, maybe. We can measure how long text is with the measure text raylib function, and we can make decisions on what to do based on that. So rather than hard coding the length of the buffer, we will deal with this problem in other ways. Okay, I also want to slightly reorganize this such that all my custom widgets, such as the gain meter widget, are in a different file. Okay, so let's start doing that. We'll take all this. We'll just yoink that. I guess widgets. Plop that there. Yeah, it's a good question of how I want to handle this audio inputs thing. It kind of is global state. Same with video inputs when we eventually get them. It's kind of used throughout pretty much the whole UI, like any part of the UI that deals with audio has a decent chance of needing to touch this structure. So I think I am just going to make it a global variable and do something similar to what I've done here. But we can change that pretty easily if we change our mind later. Okay, what do we need here? We're reading a frame. We're also writing to the codec. That might be all we need for now. Obviously, we need raylib, but we'll need that in the header file. That might be all for now. So let's go widgets.h. Whoa. Okay, thanks, CAC. I know this is technically not allowed. Double underscore identifiers are reserved for future C standards, but I think it should be relatively clear that I'm not really interested in future C standards. We'll take this. We'll take these. I think we'll keep them caps. I think. And I do want to keep them close to their definition. So we want to go const int. Something like that. We also here need, not here rather, but in our widgets, we need the clamp function, clamp rectangle. So we'll go pull that. We'll take this, plop that up there. This needs to go somewhere else. Yeah, it does. It does. Maybe like a state. That's kind of lame, but we start with lame and fix it later. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how I want to handle this. If I really want to do it in this form, or if I want to make it like a runtime allocated array that we resize or realloc. I don't know yet. We'll keep it like this for now. Like organizationally, it makes sense to have a state.c or something, but I feel like we kind of don't need it. The only time allocation or deallocation will occur for the whole structure, for the whole state, is in the main.c, I guess. Like, I don't think there's any other part of the UI that should be globally destroying or allocating for that matter, the structure as a whole. Maybe elements of the structure, sure. Like if you have another codec, then yeah, sure. There's some part of the UI that will probably be involved in allocating a codec, a new codec. But in terms of freeing the entire structure, I feel like probably not. So we'll keep that there for now. We'll also need widgets and state. In widgets, we'll need state. We'll also need raylib. Display all devices. Yeah, I feel like that's a kind of a main widget. It's not like a widget, so to speak. I mean, it is because you can parameterize it by rectangle. You know what? It might be used between the audio page and the monitoring page. Display all devices. Yeah, I think so, because I think I want to have a separate function. So you call display all devices in a region, for instance. Oh, this might not compile. Let's not try. For instance, you might display all devices in a region here, something like that. Okay, I'm going to check if something's gone wrong. Be back in a moment. Okay, it doesn't look like anything was wrong. It was still recording despite this error. Invalid PCM packet data size 2, but at least the size of 6 was expected. That's a pretty interesting error. It's especially interesting since we started out working and then it stopped. It looks like we're asking for samples too quickly. I'm not sure if that makes sense. Let's come down. I wonder if we're competing with the recording setup itself. For instance, I have this. Obviously, my recording setup is recording. I wonder if Sound.io can't give us both packets. It has to give it to one of us. Let's see if we can compile this. Fair enough. Fair enough. Display all devices, draw gain meter. Right. Okay. So let's go back to main. Oh, of course, we need to edit our makefile. Widgets.o. This needs to be extern, unfortunately. Fine. Which I guess means, you know what, we can avoid this. We can avoid this. And for now, I am going to avoid it because I would like to avoid a pointless file that we don't really need. Whoops. .c. Did we add anything else? I don't think so. And now, main depends on state and widgets. I think they'll have a default rule, right? Well, I actually don't want a rule. I just want to say it depends on them, which I think that's fine. Obviously, widgets depends on widgets. And I think it also depends on state.